Kia ora everyone and welcome back to the Careering Podcast. I am your co-host Kelsey and as always I am here with the lovely and wonderful Melissa Davies. Hola.
Hola.
What's going on?
Saturday, sun shining.
It's bright, it's lovely.
It is.
You're trying not to look at the camera?
I completely forgot about the camera actually.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm trying not to look at the camera.
I'm trying not to be distracted by people walking past outside.
We did allude that we were doing camera a while ago and then we kind of failed at it and didn't work and now we're trying again. So maybe you'll see us. Who knows?
I like that you're doing a side eye at the camera.
I'm like, maybe.
I'm going to pretend it's
You're
not
just
over
going to
there.
pretend it's not there. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Great. Hi, what's going on? What grabbed your attention this week?
So I am still interested in the debate about music genre shifts from artists, and this is on the back of
What the fuck?
it's on the back of both Beyonce and Post Malone
Shifting into country?
playing in the country space,
Right.
and the general sense has been a lot of acceptance of Post Malone and a lot of negative comments about Beyonce.
Oh, really? I have only seen good stuff. I think I might be on that side of TikTok though.
Yeah, on TikTok I see good stuff, but if I read more general media, there's quite a lot of backlash. And it again reminds me of some of the challenges someone like Taylor Swift has faced when she's, genre shifted. But what that says to me is an artist is really talented if they can understand the complexity of the music in that genre and then create an album in that space.
Beyonce's from fucking Texas. Leave the bitch alone.
Oh, sorry, she's just amazing. Like, let her go for it.
Yeah.
Like, how is it hurting you?
It's Beyonce. We don't get to have a say.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
That was almost poetic.
Oh, I do like that. Put it on a t-shirt. Anyway. Well, yes, fair enough. Good topic.
Yeah. So what about you? What's been top of mind or grabbed your attention or hyperfixation for you this week?
Okay, well, I've got a light one and a harder one.
Okay.
My lighter one is literally lighters. Like I am obsessed with watching antique lighter TikToks. So this guy like collects all of these amazing lighters and then he like takes them apart and like for Valentine's Day he had like a 1936 German lighter in the shape of a love heart and he like took it apart and showed you how to stop laughing at me. I can try and say you try not to.
Guys, Kelsey needs some friends.
I have friends. The lighter man is really interesting. The other part of it is that I was just ranting about individualism versus collectivism and how we've moved to a place where we're all concerned about ourselves rather than looking after each other. And it fucks me off to no end. And that we are becoming so concerned with how we show up in the world rather than how we work with each other and how we interact with each other. And that is my other current soapbox. Stop looking at me like that.
I'm like, I want to climb on that soapbox with you and get ranty, but I feel like it would be really hard for people to listen to because it would just be a lot of emotional rage from both of us.
Yeah. So instead of doing that, let's introduce the weird third party that we've got sitting here that you might have already heard laughing on the microphone. Please, will you do an intro for us?
So some of you may have heard me talk about my family, and one family member of mine in particular has a really, really cool story. And so we invited him to come on the pod with us. It's my eldest nephew, Caleb. So Caleb, hello.
Hello, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Oh, I like that you've just like picked up on our weird like use of foreign
I hear
language.
them on every single.
Do you listen?
I do.
Oh, God.
Or I get random voice notes from Auntie Liz being like, "Hola, bonjour."
Yes, so we do it in the rest of our lives as well. Yeah. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Excited to have you here.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. And I love your t-shirt. Good vibes only.
Thank you.
So one of the things that I think is super interesting about your life is that you have a day job and a night job.
Do I?
Well, maybe not so much both of those things right now.
I know, not currently.
Not currently. Talk us through a bit about your career journey. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Oh, so I am currently 19. I think I've gone through about 4, I'll call them normal jobs, 4 normal jobs. And am currently pursuing the nightlife as a drag queen.
Yay.
Yay.
So drag for you is now your main job.
Yes.
And how did you get into drag? I mean, I know this, but tell
Yes.
everyone. Caleb.
I think I just started playing with the makeup side of things, and the way I actually did my first performance is I won tickets to a drag show, and I was way too nervous to actually perform. And the drag queen that was there goes, "What's your favourite song?" And I said, "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. And so she goes, "I'll come along to the next show and drag." And then so I did, and then she goes, "All right, your turn. Turns on Don't Stop Me Now, and out I go. So I was way too nervous to perform. So she's like, just do it.
Didn't give you a choice.
No.
Amazing.
Yeah, but it was honestly like one of the scariest things is your first performance.
Yeah, right.
And so it was just...
How old were you?
13.
Oh,
I know, right?
that's a whole other special level of confidence to have just one to do your first drag performance, let alone be 13.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Very scary, but so glad I did it.
What bits were scary for you?
I think it's just going out on stage and the fear of people judging you or mucking up. But then when you actually learn what drag is, it's like people want you to mess up. That's like the joy of it. It's literally just doing whatever you want. And as long as you're having fun, no one really cares if you mess up or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. It makes me laugh because, you know, that might have been Caleb's first official performance in front of an audience, but I can tell you.
First public appearance.
This kid could run in 3-inch heels aged 2.5. And when I was living in Sydney, I used to love this. I'd come home from Sydney flying to Christchurch and I'd go and stay with Caleb and his sister and his mum. And my time would be monopolised by Caleb. I would have to sit on his bed as he wrapped himself in his mosquito net and gave me performances with his butterfly wings and marching boots on of Miley Cyrus's The Climb.
Oh, classic.
Had good taste even back then.
Yeah, not much change.
Yeah, that ability to sort of understand a song and then turn it into performance, though. I think that's actually a core skill that you've had right from a young age, that ability to perform.
I'll throw that on my CV. Can perform Miley Cyrus The Climb in a mosquito net.
Can do arts and crafts and make a full outfit out of a mosquito net. I love it.
What a talent.
Yeah. So how have you balanced building a reputation in drag with those normal jobs that you mentioned?
It's actually really hard. Drag is one of the things that just takes up all of your time. Whether it's like, you know, practicing for a lip sync, making costumes, getting your wigs done. And most of it is weekends. So all that time that I'm going to say free time that most people would have, it's now consumed by, you know, performing or doing shows. Like when you invited me over for, like the family was over and then I had to show up in full drag afterwards because I had just done a show.
It was so cute though. Like I think what's really nice is the other nieces and nephews. It's just so normalized in our family.
Yeah.
You just be your best self no matter what. And it was very cute when Caleb turned off. My little 5-year-old nephew looks at him and goes, "You look so pretty." And it was his first comment. Like, I just love that.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, it was, I said, "I love your dress." He goes, "I know." And he goes, "Your makeup is so good." And I said, "I know."
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So talking about time of it.
Yes.
How long? So say you've got a gig on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
When in the day do you start preparing for it?
Oh, I take 4 hours to get ready.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is, so my 4 hours is my extended time. So that's also, you know, having a break in between, having dinner while you get ready. The fastest I can get it done is 45 minutes. I don't look that good.
You're like, don't get too close.
I know, just stand from a distance, but I can get it done. But yeah, it's about 3 to 4 hours to get full drag.
That's eyebrows, it's wigs, full
costumes,
makeup,
body, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, full geesh.
Yeah. Full geesh.
That's what we call it. Yeah, full
Oh my
geesh.
God, I love this. I'm learning new things already.
Like
I was like, bring the Gen Zer on and teach me things, please.
I think the other thing about drag that maybe people don't understand alongside the time it takes is the cost.
Yes.
So your costumes, you know, for you to show up in full geesh, what would that...
Correct use. Yeah, well done.
I'm a Gen X on the border of elder millennial, but at times I relate to the boomers. This is not one of those times. So I'm interested though in like the cost, right? So it's a performance wardrobe that you have to maintain and manage. What kind of cost space does that mean?
Oh, so you've got most of my drag, we call it Thailand drag, which is, you know, the very sparkly sequins, like
Right.
we call it showgirl drag, Thailand drag.
Yeah. Why Thailand drag?
It's just cheaper.
Oh, so it's made in Thailand is why you call it Thailand drag.
Yeah, so it's made in Thailand.
Yeah.
And
I was like, didn't realize that there was like a specific country that was more sparkly than the others.
Thailand. Their lady boys are incredible.
Yeah.
So a Thailand dress, you're looking at 300 to 600, depends on what it is.
Yeah.
How long it is versus here. If you got it made here in New Zealand or Australia, it's about 500 to 600 for like the cheapest dress.
Right.
But then you've got, you know, hip pads that cost about $80. You've got your boobs. You've got all the Spanx 5 layers of tights.
Which I can confirm that I have tried the boobs on, just for listeners who are interested, and they're fantastic.
you're wondering.
They are amazing.
Yeah, and then you've got a wig, which is, $150, another $100 for styling, or your makeup, and then, you've got to have an array of colours, themes, everything. And it's all custom made, so it bumps the price right up.
Yeah, and I suppose if you're doing it often as well, especially in a small town or a small city, you've got to keep it fresh.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of drag queens, we call it the one wear. So you wear it once, sell it off to the next queen wears it, you get something new in. And so you'll see this one dress that just floats around 8 different drag queens.
And they're all doing something slightly different with it.
Yeah, it's styled
That's
differently.
really cool, though.
Yeah.
I like the sustainability of that because I can't imagine rhinestones are super eco-friendly.
No, they're probably not. You find them all over the floor after a show. You go, here's my trail.
Rhinestones and feathers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
Amazing.
How do you find the network of drag queens? I know when you were 13 that one of the nice things about the drag community is how supportive the more experienced queens have been to you. It's been a really welcoming, safe, beautiful space, which is, I guess, one of the challenges some members of family had around supporting you of getting into drag. They were really concerned about what it would be like as a young teenager being in an environment where there's older people. But I guess you and I both had an expectation and maybe some experience around knowing how welcoming that community is.
Yes. Yeah.
But now you're sort of 6 years later and I guess you're competing for audience's attention with the other queens.
Yeah.
What's the community like? How's that been for you?
Well, when I first started, it was it's definitely changed since when I first started. When you first start, you're the baby queen on the scene. Everyone's really kind. Everyone teaches you, this is how you glue in a wig. You need to clean your wigs after each use. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
They're real lovely. But then once you become more experienced and, essentially a working drag queen, you've got a lot of competition. And so we fight in Auckland, it's a lot more common. You've got your residencies, where, you've got, family bar, GAY bar. So you've got the queens that perform there. Yeah. And then people come in as just guests. And so there's obviously not an unlimited amount of venues. And so everyone's fighting for a spot at those bars. And what you can do versus here in Christchurch, thankfully, we travel with our shows. So we can put a shop in a restaurant if we want. Yeah. So we very thankfully have not a lot of competition here in Christchurch, but Auckland's very different. So you've got different cultures and different cities and all that.
But you've still got a great community. I know some of the really well-known drag queens here in Aotearoa, Kita and Anita, have been amazing.
Yes, they have.
They're your friends within the drag community, but outside of the drag community, as you've been sort of making decisions around life and career, both Kita and Anita have been incredible friends to you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's really nice. I think that's maybe what we don't see as an audience watching a show. Yeah. You kind of see a performance. What you don't realise is that there's been some pretty cool people that have paved the way for you and encouraged you along the way, which is amazing because it sounds like being a drag queen actually has some challenges with it. Can you talk us through what some of the challenges have been for you?
Yeah, so we just had Winter Pride in Queenstown. You walk around. Some people, either you get 2 reactions. You either get the, oh my gosh, you look amazing, or you get the opposite, which is just people being absolute assholes who don't know what it is or think it's wrong what you're doing. I've had, things thrown at me on the streets.
Really?
Yeah.
They were lucky I wasn't there.
I was going to say,
Auntie Mo's coming.
The two of us just side-eyeing eating each other and we were we would have fucking taken the bastards out.
Not okay with that behaviour.
Yeah, being told to take a bullet. You get some real scary stuff.
And on social media, you've had some hate too, right?
Yes, a lot of I've been told to commit suicide and all that. It's one of the hardest things. So
Jesus,
it's really real scary. But the other drag queens, they see the comments, they get on there and they're like, and they just start ranting as well. And joining in against you. And they're like, well, what do you do for a job? They start to pop off. And it turns out one of the people that was telling me to commit suicide was a 13-year-old as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit intense.
Yeah. So it was real, it's scary. And then as well, I think you saw that one as well on Instagram. And then, mum gets in the comments as well, writing, this is my son. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's that removability of you not being a person.
Yeah. But actually, people will go, oh, your family, it's always, your family must be so disappointed.
Oh my gosh.
People say that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
But also, speaking from his family, we're the exact opposite of that. We are so proud. I think everyone in the family's been to a drag show.
Honestly, one of the most supportive families, a lot of drag queens, have family that don't support them or have disowned them. versus
send them my way. I will happily auntie more drag queens.
Melissa adopts them in bars that we go to.
I do actually.
She's like, I will make all the drag queens my friend.
Yeah, I have a very strong allyship to trans people and drag queens.
Yeah.
And I will fight to the death for them.
Yeah.
It's actually real interesting. Like in drag, we've got a drag family. So you've usually got, well, a lot of drag queens have a drag mother, a drag auntie, and drag sisters.
Do you have a drag mum and a drag auntie?
I do. So Lady Bubbles was like my drag mum. Who taught me, the basics, what to do, what not to do. I probably do a lot of what not to do. We get a lot of mischief.
We love Lady Bubbles.
We do. And then Keita and Nita, I guess, are like my drag aunties or my drag sisters. Who are just like the ones that teach you what to do, like tell you when you're out of line, but then also you'll go hit the clubs with them. It's so much fun. And then drag sisters are just what you'd call, the other drag queens that you work with that you love.
But you do. I say there's a couple of drag sisters though that you've gotten to a bit of a mischief with after shows.
Oh, absolutely. Probably none that we can say on here.
Yeah, we won't name names.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
For legal reasons.
I love it. So you go.
I'm just going to sort of carry on that theme though around some of the. I guess it's really hard for us three because we're so supportive of this community. So we really struggle to understand why people would behave that way. And also, as people that love you, it's really hard to know that you're being exposed to these kinds of things. Like I really disagree with those behaviors of those people. But I'm interested in how you manage that. And then especially if you're fronting up to a normal job, how you manage, because that's quite a significant emotional load to have to carry after giving you all at a performance and then.
Especially starting at the age 13.
Yeah.
You're already going through formative shit in high school, and that's hard enough when you don't dress in drag.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not shaving your eyebrows.
Right.
So how do you deal with it all? How does the emotional aspect of it come through for you?
It's so hard. Like, in all honesty, it's really hard. I think we like to say we don't care what people think about us, but in reality, we do. We all want to be accepted by people, and we want people to like us, especially as an entertainer. Your key thing is, you need to impress people. That's how you get your work. But high school as well, I was like a lot of bashing in the boys' bathroom. I got, told so I'd get changed in a cubicle because people were just weird around gay people. And it was, even though I was in a cubicle, I'm watching people get changed, and then I'd get bashed, and then the teacher's solution was to pop me in the disabled bathroom.
Right.
Yeah, and so I could get changed in there. But yeah, online when you get hate, it's a lot easier on social media where you can just, hit block or delete comments. But that definitely still does get to you. But in person, that's a whole nother level. I remember there's one drag queen who I won't mention their name. We were in K Road in Auckland, and someone goes, "Oh, you faggots." And so they smash a wine bottle, this drag queen, this 7-foot drag queen, chases him up K Road going, say it again, like running uphill on K Road.
In heels,
in full drag going, yeah, what was that? Say it again. They're like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I could never do that. I'm just more of a, being a teenager in drag will help you though, is because you're definitely much more of a smart ass.
Yeah.
So you've got a very quick wit that you can use to, I guess, make yourself feel better in the moment.
Yeah.
But then you come back and then you let that all get to you, and you do think about it a lot, and it does get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you marry that with having to go to a day job and just be you at work the next day?
That's hard. So one of Mum's friends actually, one of the hardest things with drag and how much time it does take over is everyone refers to you as either, the gay Caleb or Caleb the drag queen.
So you're not Caleb.
Yeah, it's not Caleb anymore. It's Caleb. I wouldn't say Melissa that works at Careering 9 or Hold Mine. I'll just say, I'm Melissa Davies. It's no longer Caleb Davies.
It now becomes your whole persona. Yeah.
It takes away almost your humanness.
Yeah.
Which, going into it, it's such a cool thing, that everyone knows you for doing drag. You're very proud of what you do. But it's also hard because you're like, oh, is it all I am now? It's just a drag queen, which is definitely very hard. But yeah, it's very mixed because you're so proud of what you do. But it takes over.
Interesting.
It makes sense though, because a lot of people don't understand that it is a performance character. Again, let's bring Beyonce back into the conversation. I think about how, she's famously spoken about her alter ego being Sasha Fierce. And so she creates a stage persona.
Yes.
People don't say to her, I don't know this. I'm not friends with her.
My bestie Beyonce.
Me and Belle, we're hanging out.
Bring her in.
To be fair, I'm not a great Beyonce music fan either. So this is not.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm suddenly coming with this.
You're just like
allyship.
on the soapbox. You're
Yeah.
like, let this woman do country music.
Just let her express herself. She's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
But I think there's something around people don't assume that. I'm guessing people don't ask her if she's Sasha Fierce today or if she's Beyonce. Like she's still Beyonce, and she just talks about how she channels this other energy to get on stage and perform as a creative. And it's the same thing with your drag persona.
Yeah, definitely. People assume that you live your life in drag. You know, people go, "Oh my God, you look so fabulous today," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." But they assume that, you know, like they're like, "Oh, do you just wake up and like get into drag?" I'm like, I don't like get in drag to go to Pack and Save and get my groceries. You know, like I don't want to do that. But I think the family, you know, you guys get to see that I'm not always in drag 24/7, and I think out of drag I'm a lot more. I like to be alone, introverted.
Yeah.
Like because of drag and how public it is, I like my alone time a lot more. Versus on stage, it's hi everybody, how are you? Like it's like such. It is. It just.
It's a performance.
It is. Yeah, it's fully a character, and I think people think that that's who you are 24/7 when you're not.
I have to tell you, when you probably remember your first like full drag performance that I was at, I could not call you anything but Caleb. Like I really struggled with it, and then you were like, no, I'm my drag name, and I was like,
We don't bring out the government name in
yeah,
drag.
and I was like, and I just because I could still see you under there, and I think I really, like you said, I really struggle when people don't understand it, but I think it's because I knew you first and then saw drag rather than saw drag and then knew you.
Yeah, definitely. I think Auntie Liz has had a few shows as well, or a few events where she goes, "Hey Caleb," oh sorry, like she realizes.
And he's terrible though. Like he'll be doing a drag performance, and if I'm there, he outs me with all kinds of things that I've done that are family secrets that shouldn't be spoken about. And he's on stage with a microphone and a few hundred people, and I'm like, "Shut up!" Usually that's like, "Oh, shut up, Caleb." You're not being up there as your fabulous queen. You're being there as my little nephew outing me. I'm like, "You little shit."
Get a text afterwards.
No, during the performance. Remember that last one? I was messaging you going, "What the hell?"
Cut it out.
Well, there was one as well. It was I wasn't sure to change costumes or not, and I get a text, "Get into your next fucking dress."
Yeah.
Mommaging you.
I do. And I'm like, Caleb, elocution. What was that one promo video that you did?
I'm so excited to be here.
It's excited. There's an X in there, not two X's.
You're such a stage mom.
I am. I'm like enunciate and pronounce your words properly, Caleb. So for anyone listening, if you need to give me that feedback, I'll gladly receive it because I'm pretty good at dishing it out.
Definitely is.
Amazing.
So interestingly though, you've had a bit of a journey from in the last year around your drag career. Do you want to talk us through what's been happening in terms of managing normal jobs and drag and where you're at now?
Yeah, so drag is such a hard thing to manage. As we said before, it takes up a lot of time. And so the company I was at, they were so amazing with it. It was, you let us know the days that you have shows, we'll make that work. We'll schedule them to be your main days off, but just let us know if you need to finish early and all that. Then the management changed. And they were like, "Oh no, we didn't promise you that. The last manager did." Which was really hard because that then led to me. One of the main reasons I left that company was because of that. It was because they wouldn't just let me do part and part, which is totally reasonable. You know, you commit to that company when you sign that contract.
But there's an expectation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
But it was real hard because when drag changes from a hobby to a job, it's then like shows you go along to for fun versus now it's, I have to get in this. I mean, I'm being paid to put this makeup on, to go do this, which is still fun. You definitely still enjoy it, but it's definitely a lot. It changes your perspective on drag and like what it is to get into drag. Yeah.
Don't they say like when you have to be really careful when you turn what you love into a career.
Oh, yeah.
It can make it so much harder to actually still love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I always talk about Liz Gilbert. She says at times, a job, a career and a hobby and a vocation are all very different things.
Yeah.
And sometimes your normal job might be the job that just pays the bills, and drag's better as something as a passion and a hobby that you do once a fortnight and you love giving everything to a crowd versus, 6 nights a week. all day Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I think to your point around that switch from extroversion to introversion, I think about acting and shows like the Court Theatre here in Ōtautahi is amazing. Like, put on great performances.
Yeah.
But that cast, performs once a night, maybe twice.
Yeah.
And they have other cast members that can step in. Energy management for an onstage performance is done really well. Whereas when you are your performance, managing your energy,
you don't have a stunt double.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it a crack. Like we look similar.
But even just watching you, like I've seen lots of different versions of your drag in terms of like whether you're hosting bingo or whether you're doing a full performance or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not just standing on a stage and giving. You are literally in the crowd and you are in charge of vibes.
Yes, that's the hardest thing. Good vibes only.
Yeah, but like if you've got the wrong room of people, I can imagine like it doesn't matter what you do, you could put it all in 127,000% out there and it's still not be where you need it to be.
Those first 5 minutes, you can always tell if it's going to be an amazing show or a horrible show.
Yeah.
You can just tell like the audience's vibes. Either they're so hyped to be there or like there's some random straight guy that their girlfriend's brought along like, oh my God, a drag queen.
What about the old duck out in Leaston who just left?
Oh yeah, like you probably just get up.
Yeah, that's right. She did. She just up and left.
Yeah,
Which is fair. I mean, I think she was expecting the early 90s bingo housey style.
I don't understand though when you sign up for drag bingo.
A lot of people
where
don't
you're just
know.
like, oh, bingo. It's like the more important word is drag.
Yeah, a lot of people like with the event. So as I was saying, like people that are being dragged along, they don't know what it is. It's people that go, oh, don't I go to this bingo night? It should be fun. They don't. Sometimes they just don't mention the word drag, or they just like somehow miss that whole thing. So we've got to be very explicit in our description of events. This is a drag show. You will hear some inappropriate things.
Yeah.
I always say people are concerned about what comes out of my mouth. You should be more concerned about what goes into it after the show.
But I do love it.
That's the level of sass we expect from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Be surprised.
Yeah. Have you had any situations that you've really had to manage because someone has come in unexpected to a drag show and has not responded well?
Most of them just get up and leave, which is totally fair. Like I'm like, oh, well, you've already paid.
Yeah, I've still got your money.
I'm getting my Macca's on the way home thanks to you. So they just leave. The main issue we have with like having to remove people from an event ourselves is when we're very big on consent.
Yeah.
Because people think it's a drag queen with these big fake boobs and big hips. They just want to touch them.
Right.
But we're so big on consent. You're like, you would not just go up and touch a random woman on the streets. You don't just do it to a drag queen. So your first time it's just ask first. Like if you want to touch us for a photo, just ask first. Yeah. We're usually more than okay with it, especially if they're hot and have nice abs or whatever. But people will just grab you. So the first time it's just ask first. Second time it's like, all right, cut it out. Just ask. Yeah. The third time it's all right, bye. Get out. Yeah. Yeah. So we're very big on that.
Amazing. I love the boundaries.
Yeah. Well, I think people just see you as like a figure then.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, like, I mean, your favorite celebrity, you wouldn't just go and touch Beyonce's breasts, you wouldn't do it to a drag queen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like that you've just aligned yourself with Beyonce. That's great. I'm here for it.
She's our reference today.
Yeah, she is.
Queen Bee.
So how did you come up with your drag name?
I went through about 12,000 drag names. Sachet Shantae got given to me, which is one of the main phrases on Drag Race. It's sachet away, Shantae, you stay. And so one of the drag queens in Australia, Felicity Froccaccino, I love her.
Just honestly, drag names are the best thing that has ever been like created. I swear to God.
Yeah, so she gave me the stage name Sachet Shantae because we were doing a show and she wanted me to go away. So she said Sachet Shantae because my stage name at the time was Queen Shantae. Yeah. And so she
was like, get out.
Sachet Shantae. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to steal that. So took that into a career, and then Anita Wiglet wanted me to be Ivana Husband. So you get a lot of drag queens change their names quite a lot, but then once you get to a point where you're known, you've got to like set your name as that.
Stick to it.
Yeah.
Are you the youngest drag queen that you know of in New Zealand?
Youngest professional drag queen. Yeah, coined that on my website.
Yeah, nice. Teen drag queen.
Yes.
Have you seen any others, like, you know how you've got your drag mother and you were brought up in the community here in Christchurch? Have you seen any other young ones come through that you're supporting?
I have. I actually love going to drag shows out of drag. The issue is now people know who you are out of drag. So people go, oh my God, it's you. And I'm like, oh, I just want to watch the show, which is a bit hard.
Yeah.
But it's so cool seeing.
Oh, it's poor me. I'm so famous.
I know, it's a hard life.
It's a hard life being a
photos,
famous
please.
drag
I know,
queen.
it's hard. What the hell?
Here's a sign posting. My next show.
You can buy a fan for $20 with my face on it.
It's 25 plus GST.
So 25 plus GST. Sorry, apologies.
Get it right, Kelsey. No, but I love going to just see general, like, local drag. I think one of the key things, people always ask actually, how do you support local gay and queer artists? Go to a drag show.
Yeah.
Your local drag shows. There's obviously like lots of like fabulous in Auckland established venues like Kalutsi, which is amazing to go and support. But go to a local drag show.
Yeah.
You know, there's about 4 different venues here in Christchurch alone that host drag shows that people just don't know about. But I love going and supporting.
Where can
the
people
local
find
queens.
out about these?
Event Finder. It's like just your main thing. Or like just search on Facebook, like Christchurch Drag Show. My face will probably pop up a lot, humbly. Yeah, but
Famous.
yeah, if you just go on Event Finder, search up drag show, and then put your location as Christchurch, they'll all come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you think that you wish people knew about being a drag queen?
Oh, I think like what we talked about before, the costs and effort that goes into it. People think you just, especially for me, I'm very impatient. You guys will know this. I'm so impatient. And one of the hardest things when I started in drag was I wanted everything now. Versus it's, you know, years and years of growing this. You know, you don't just get like a drag closet when you start drag. It's not a starter kit, you know, of like 4 wardrobes of, you know, sparkly sequin dresses and like shelves and shelves upon shelves of wigs.
What do you mean real life drag isn't like RuPaul's Drag Race? What do you mean, Caleb? You've just shattered my heart.
I know, right? Surprise.
I thought like I could just like walk into a wardrobe and it would just all be there.
It is now.
Yeah.
It is now.
It wasn't then.
No.
But even the amount of, you know, not just finances and time, but the amount of, you know, support while you're trying to hold down a day job to pay for all of this.
Pay for the drag.
And help from family. Like, there was one time Caleb had to get me to go pick up his wigs. They'd just been styled.
I remember this. Yes.
Cashmere up in the hills, and they were given back to me on Caleb's wig stands, and I didn't know that the wig stands were collapsible. So luckily I had a little SUV, so I had to stand them up in the back of the car. I was so worried about, you know,
Like
unstyling the wigs, but I drove around town looking like I had locked 2 children in the boot of my car because all you could see was these like.
I've been pulled over for that.
Have you?
Really?
On my way to Queenstown for Winter Pride, there were I had it's made of like PVC piping, and so you've like just stick your wig heads on there, but from the back you just see like heads like shaking and moving around, and I got pulled over for having people in my boot, and I was like, sorry, wigs.
Were they just like, okay?
Yeah, well they looked through the window and they're like, oh, have a good day.
We don't know what you're doing, but okay. Yeah. Amazing.
And so I guess the last question for me would be, you've mentioned that you're at a bit of a decision point with your drag career. What's happening?
Yes, so as I said, you know, drag becomes, at my level, it becomes a job, which is one of the hardest things to do. Drag, as much as I love drag, it's a very draining thing to do, you know. When yourself isn't happy, like when you're not happy, you've got to go out and be happy, make other people happy. That's, you know, the job. And a lot of the time it's hard to fake that. But then also at the moment wanting to focus on health and all that. When I focus on health, I'd love to see other careers. I'd love to go into flight attending. So I'm going to look at, because before I was at one of my other jobs that I left, I was between that and flight attending.
Yeah.
So I'd love to, you know, focus on flight attending for a little bit, see how that goes. And yeah.
Amazing that you are 19 years old and you've already done one whole career. Like, you might come back to it, of course, but like you've like, cool. Ticked one, because like how many do we have in our lifetimes these days? Like 4 or 5? You're 37. Already like you're already well ahead of most people.
He's living the centennial textbook, 37 careers in a lifetime type thing.
Yeah.
The best
amazing.
Thing, like if I do leave drag, one of the things I will miss is the free drinks.
Well, now that you can drink, because you've only been doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah, it was real funny. There were a few venues that we did, and then it was we did a show and it was like, finally sachets legal, and the bartenders were like, what?
In full drag.
Well, you look far older, especially in those heels, because you're like 6 foot goddamn who knows
6'4" and thinking it's drag.
Yeah, you look like
you don't get ID.
I remember being so you did a party for me, and everyone and me going around going, he's like just turned 18, and everyone's like, fuck off,
everyone thinks
and I'm
joking.
like, no, like. He's just a baby. He's just little baby Caleb.
It was, one of the funniest things, someone posted, how old are you? I just like a Q&A on my Instagram, how old are you? And I said 40. And people were like, no, you don't look a day over 30. And I was like, and you're like, fuck you all. I was like, is my Botox doing the opposite? Like, hello. But yeah, in drag, you don't get ID'd. People just assume, working in the industry that you are of age. I think the company I was at, Drag It Out, was like, very strict though. It was, you are underage, you're not drinking at our events. We do at different events, go for your life. Not at our events.
But also I think you're confident. And so I think, no matter whether you're in drag or out of drag, there may not have been situations where you and I've been for a drink in a bar before you were 18. And
oh my gosh.
But because you hold yourself really well, you're polite, you're respectful, and you're confident.
Yeah. You're not a loose unit.
And you're not sweating going, can I please have a drink?
Can I please have a Long Island iced tea? Because it's the only one I've heard
vodka
of.
Cruiser. Yeah. We had a full pub crawl, didn't we? For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I may cut that out. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I think we've got one last big question around... if you had to describe your drag career of what it's been thus far as a song or a movie, what would you choose?
I'd say Mysterious Girl by Peter Andre.
Oh my God. What a deep cut. I love that.
I know.
Can you tell us why? Just the vibes or?
Me being a mysterious girl. To be fair, I'm more of a questionable girl. But questionable girl, I want to get far from you.
I love it.
No, I just think mysterious girl in drag, it's,
amazing.
Just you actually are a mysterious girl.
Fair.
I think it's so fitting.
Fair. Amazing. Okay. Well, thank you again. Like we just thoroughly enjoy just having you around. Basically, you're just a joy.
Just fun for a chat.
Yeah, and you brought the good vibes, so we appreciate it. And if anyone listening has any questions for you or wants us to do another episode or anything, you don't have a choice. You're coming back.
Family bond.
Yeah, family bond. It's also like Auntie Liz has done a lot of things for you, so you can do some things for Auntie Liz. Yeah.
I've got a list.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so thank you for listening. As always, please share us with all of your friends and your humans. We would love to up our listener count, so anyone that you can share it with would be fantastic.
Even your cats.
Even the cats. Like just put it on repeat on Spotify and leave the house for the day and just let the cats listen.
You go to work.
Yeah. Love it.
Sit at play.
Thank you. We appreciate it. So you're where all the listens come from. Exactly. Good to know.
I got paid for that.
Yeah. So you can find us on Spotify and Apple. Please remember to subscribe and rate us 5 stars. The more love you give us, the more love we can give you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. And as always, get out there and slay, bitch.
Slay.
Was that good?
It was perfect.
Okay, thank you.